Hello, my name is Deborah Lewis, President of Lewis Educational Concepts and owner of the Jane Schaffer Academic Writing Program. Welcome to the Jane Schaffer Academic Writing Program's video library and study hall, where teachers and students can learn and review this special writing program, which has been a staple in hundreds of classrooms since 1984. So, how did I come to be here with you? Let me tell you a little bit about my journey. I grew up in Duncanville, a suburb of Dallas, Texas. My mom and dad were both high school teachers, and during the summer months, we had a family business. We provided swimming instruction at our home. So in 1967, at 10 years old, I started teaching children and adults to swim. Looking back, I realized that I was always meant to be a teacher, although I fought it at first. I attended the University of Texas at Austin and graduated with a degree in business. But within 2 weeks of my graduation, my mother died. I was lost. I spent the next 9 years in marketing and advertising, and I was making good money, but I just wasn't fulfilled. I needed to have meaning and purpose in my life. I needed to make a difference. And then I lost my dad. Realizing how precious and delicate and fleeting life really is, I returned to school, and the very next year I followed in my parents' footsteps and became a high school English teacher. I've never regretted that decision. I met Jane Schaffer in 1992 when I was searching for some way to teach my 11th graders how to write. You see, I knew how to write. I had a built-in writing teacher at home. My mother had been a high school English teacher, and most of her friends were English teachers, so I was always expected to speak and write well. I even had to memorize all the prepositions when I was 8 years old, in alphabetical order. Aboard, about, above, according to, across, after, against, ahead of, along, alongside, amid, among, apart from, apropos, around, as far as to, at, back of, because of, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, besides, but, by, concerning, contrary to, despite, down, due to, during. I won't go on, but you understand. I was brought up in a household of English language instruction. I knew how to write, and I read voraciously. So when I started teaching high school English, I couldn't figure out why my students struggled with writing. I would assign an essay, and when it was due, I'd load up my conference bag with 180 papers and head home to grade them. The next day, I'd throw the conference bag over my shoulder and return to school, of course, not having graded one. This went on for a few days. But when I finally sat down and began grading them, I felt disappointed and frustrated. What was I doing wrong? I would give the students their scored essays, and invariably a student would ask me, "Why did you give me a C?" "Well," I said, "it's a C paper." "But Miss Lewis, how do I make it into an A or a B?" My answer was, "Write more." Then I would use my hands and bounce up and down. Elaborate. I didn't have the words to explain what I could do innately, and then I met Jane. And I learned that there is a big difference between assigning writing and teaching writing. And here's what I've discovered as the daughter of an English teacher myself for 35 years, and a teacher of English teachers for the past 20 years. One of our challenges is that many of us became English language arts teachers because growing up we loved to read and write. We were those few students whom we now have in our own classrooms who were natural writers, just as there are natural musicians, dancers, athletes, and engineers. Writing came easily to us, but we are a different sort, you and I. Many of our students, most of our students, if we are honest, struggle with writing. Over the years, I've earned many degrees and studied many writing programs. All writing programs have advantages and disadvantages, and as teachers, we must always be sharpening our saws, learning new strategies and techniques. Because every child, whether he or she is 7 or 17, is unique and therefore needs differentiation. What I discovered is that I could reach more students individually and collectively with the Jane Schaffer Writing Program, from my students who struggled with reading and writing to my advanced placement scholars. For me, the Jane Schaffer Writing Program changed my life as a teacher. Eventually, in 2008, I left the classroom to work on my Ph.D. and opened Lewis Educational Concepts, an educational consulting firm. I became one of Jane's national trainers, an English language arts consultant, an advanced placement English mentor, and an instructional technology specialist. In that same year, Jane contracted brain cancer and fought it heroically. She passed away in August of 2010. Prior to her death, she and her husband Dan reached out to me and asked me to become the keeper of the keys of her program. It was a huge honor and privilege, and every day I do my best to honor her and this program. Jane valued teachers, and because teaching is in my blood, my life revolves around honoring teachers and making their and their students' lives better. Well, the rest is history. The Jane Schaffer Academic Writing Program's world headquarters are here in Dallas, Texas. We have 8 highly experienced and delightful national trainers who live in different parts of the country, and I'm always looking for new trainers who believe in the work we do. We travel all over the United States and even abroad, training teachers how to inspire and guide their students to become successful readers and writers. It's a calling for us, and I imagine you're here because it's a calling for you. This video series is designed to provide teachers and their students with the Jane Schaffer Academic Writing Program in the comfort of your own home or classroom when the time is convenient for you. I hope you'll enjoy the following series and their episodes and feel empowered as a writing teacher.